Alright, painting Napoleonics, quite the bitch. Especially, I'm not even that, I'm not even going to say I'm not even good. I mean, some of these models I see with these guys painted are just amazing, so. My guys are recognizable as long as you stay several light years away from them, I guess. But they're fun. It's my favorite war time period. It always has been, but uh, it's gonna be a labor of love for a long time. So I'm gonna paint a couple battalions, step away. I've been doing some reading and some watching of Saga, so I'm gonna try that because that seems to be something you can just kind of. I can throw together an army for Saga in about 2 days. I'll do two sides. I think I'm gonna do my other favorite time period. That's the Crusades. I'm gonna do some knighted armies, and I can spin them into either Templars or the Teutonics, and then if I want to go into like the 100 Years' War, I'll just, since one's red and one's blue, I'll just make them and play Hail Caesar and play them as the 100 Years' War. It's the French and the English. Alright, so these are, this is Passe de Charge. Sorry, I took French, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. 3 French attack columns. They do have numbers on the flags, but I do not know them. I don't intend to know, the 15th Line Regiment or shit like that. That's a bit too much detailed for me. I'll probably pay more attention to generals and above and just have, I know that is a French line unit. That is a French line unit. I'm going to do those guys. To differentiate some of the different between guard and line, I'm going to do, these guys are in the great coats. They're going to be, this is going to be my young guard. At least the young guard fusiliers. On the bridge here in the front would be young guard voltigeurs. I believe there were several battalions or of each in the young guard, if I remember correctly. And that's old guard grenadiers, and there's also the chasseurs. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. I haven't even bought those yet, but I got the old guard. I got like 2 more battalions of old guard grenadier to glue together and paint. I probably have 2 voltigeurs, or maybe I think I have one. I have one. Sorry. I probably have, I'd say, at least 4 more line battalions to put together. I have 2 middle guard battalions. I think overall I'd like to end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 battalions for each side of infantry. Then I'll probably break it down in each brigade. So each brigade will be formed of 3 battalions. Is that right? Each regiment will be formed from 3 battalions. And then I get the breakdown of the Napoleonics a little bit screwed up. I'm sorry. It goes battalion, and then 3 of them equals a regiment or division. I think it's a regiment, and then it's like 2 regiments in a division, and then there's a bunch of shit in a brigade or a corps. No, it's a corps, so it is a brigade. Sorry, that's right. Holy cow! Sorry guys, I'm coming apart on you. Rough day of work. Yeah, so that's gonna be young guard. That's line, and that'll be young guard voltigeur, and that'll be old guard grenadier. So hopefully in the end I'll have 18 battalions, and then I'll work on English, which are actually, it's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of fun. Usually most of my painting now has been World War II, and the Germans always seem to have the better. I got to do the bases too. I've got some of them done, just us putzing around with them. Because a lot of these bases aren't done yet. And the French will be, especially the old guard, the Grenadier Guard, or the old guard grenadiers. They're kind of cool. I really enjoy those voltigeurs. If you look at them, I'm trying to hold my hand still here. Little fuzzy hats. They got yellow brass, and they got yellow tails and green tips. They're pretty cool. Those are hat miniatures, and then I've got a mix of I've got a whole mix of Perry's, Warlord, and Victrix in here. And then I think those are hat, because I could not find a 28mm Voltigeur. I wanted those big tails to differentiate. I'm also going to have loose Voltigeurs, in which wherever I can, I'm going to try to put the longer tails on them, or tassels on their hats, so I can, I'm going to base 3 to a model, so I can have them out in front for mixed formations. And then, I don't know, those don't sound as good now at the second. I haven't read them, of course. I don't have a copy yet of the second edition rules. It sounds like they're taking away some of the benefits of the mixed formation. But hell, I never played a game, so I wouldn't even know the difference. So this is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm excited about it. And they're gonna get this map will be changed into. I'll probably even add on to it. This map will be turned into some semblance of Waterloo at some point. And we'll get a Huguenot and La Haye Saint somewhere out in the middle of this. I'll try to figure it out and have a battle for it. So I doubt I will get up to. You see some of these guys that have like 100,000 miniatures, and I'm like, Jesus, but I'll have enough for me to have a good time and get a couple weeks out of it. But I'm not going to go for lifetime real size, every single battalion represented, because I'll go effing crazy. So I'm getting better at getting them done and getting, but it gets monotonous just painting these guys. And but it's fun. I mean, when you see them at the end, these are all an attack column, which is, I guess, the French use the shit out of, because they get the bonuses to command and everything like that. I'll probably take a pause here. I'll put them in a different formation so you can see them. And I've only just painted those just so I could have. I just wanted to do a few of each. I haven't painted any middle guard yet. I need some middle guard, but they're not going to look too much different from the young guard, except for they're going to be red on their all their stripes and stuff instead of the white, just to differentiate between them. But I'll put them in the different formations just so you can see what the different formations are if you're not familiar with black powder. And then Saga, I've never played it all. I've just been watching it. Sounds interesting. It's a good skirmish game. A lot of my friends are interested in playing, but not interested in painting. So they'll show up and play, but they just this is a bit too much for them. You sit down and paint 100 guys, and you're not even a quarter of the way done with one army. You still gotta. That's a lot. So we shall see. I'll put them in a different formation here. I'll probably do a line, a march column. We'll see what else we got. That's it. See you in a minute. This is the 3 battalions in. I don't know, I said in a book this was like a heavy column or something, but there are 3 of them in 2 deep line. This is your optimal firing position, not behind each other because they blast each other, but this is where you get most of your firepower. But God help you if there's a horse anywhere within a 3/4 of a mile of you, because they'll just run right through you like, what did Patton say, like crap through a goose. But a little grenadier guy with their officer. The little command pieces were fun. I had a lot of blast. And then just seeing all the guys. I mean, before the bullets started flying, it must have been kind of cool to be there. If you had all your vaccinations. Because I know these guys, when they marched, like, they'd lose 40% of the guys to disease and exposure. But I don't have the flank columns and all that crap. It was very interesting, but that's a level of detail that this guy's not going to do. I know some of these guys are grenadiers and some are, you know, designed with these swords on the back. I just kind of just went with it. I wanted to do like the 6 bases of 4, but I really want to get the feel of it, so I did 8 bases of 4. So it's 32 guys per battalion, and that does you can do a little bit of formations. The squares look good with that. I think that the 6 in the squares I wasn't a fan of it, kind of like a little turd, so at least it adds a bit more meat to the bone. I didn't want to do the 36 units. I guess I could have, but I just like that. And I think the attack column looked good too. We'll do, I guess I'll try to do some squares and show you that, and then I'll do a march column, which is very similar to this, but they're just going straight ahead. But we'll see. It's kind of fun doing different formations, and then of course all the different bonuses for it. The flags are... Yeah, it must have been something before the bullets started flying. I really like this guy. This is the Warlord command sections were really cool. They were metal figures, and they had a freaking crazy amount of detail. I suck a bit with super glue and all that crap, but I'm better with the plastic glue at least. But just the weight of the metal miniatures pretty cool. This guy's like my favorite. He's not even the full. He's like second in command, but he's like a Voltigeur. They're pretty awesome. They got a little. The Grenadiers have a little gold around theirs. They got a little bit bigger flag. There we go. All right, try some squares. That's if you know what that is, that's basically their formation when they want to get nailed by cannons. No, it actually is their defense against artillery. No, against cavalry. God, yeah, artillery mincemeats them. At least they're not the closed squares where they're just all packed together. These are going to be the open squares. All right. So if there was a cavalry attack coming, like when they sent all the French cavalry at the end of the Battle of Waterloo towards the British side, when we thought they were retreating, the English would have been lined up in tons of these because they look a lot better with 1,000 guys in a damn square. But that's what a battalion square looks like. A battalion open square. There's battalion closed squares, and there's brigade squares, and you basically have each battalion forms one side of the square, and they have like cannons in the corners. So that's, I don't know how tough that would be. I mean, cause black powder is so, you know, chance oriented with your dice rolling, trying to say I'm going to do this order, and this order, and I'm going to move these guys here and form a line, and these guys form here a line, and those guys form a line, and a little bit of effed up dice rolling and a couple blunders, and you're going to have like a battalion trapezoid or a battalion nothing. It's going to like look like cuneiform. There's going to be dudes all over the place, and they're just going to get run over with cavalry. So I don't know how successful it's going to be to form a brigade square. Maybe get lucky. I don't know. But there you go. 3 guys, 3 battalions in squares. And I'll do... there's 4 deep lines. There's column of companies. There's closed columns. There's all kinds of shit. Column of companies, I don't know how to differentiate it by leaving models off the board, but since the English units can't form attack columns, I'm just going to basically, my intention, at least now, when I actually get around to playing a game in 5 years, is to, it'll look identical in my mind to an attack column, but it'll just have different bonuses because they weren't trained according to the rule books in forming attack columns doing well, so they use a column of companies. But it's going to look the same. Still, they get hit by a cannonball or something. And there's another, yeah, the 4 deep line, the 2 deep line, square, and the last one would be march column, which is It's good for moving, but God help you if somebody sneezes in your direction, because you're like, your unit immediately incinerates and they run off the board. So it's good to move around the board in attack column, I guess. At least you might get hit by cannons, but you can actually defend yourself a little bit. You can fight like hell. Alright, that's what I got. One more thing and I'll be done. But it's, well, there's the giant template hill I stuck on. I've got to work on finishing up an American squad, infantry squad. So I can add them to all those American squads. And you can have a little bolt action game this weekend. There's my Germans. I want to use that. Haven't used it yet. There's my 88. But I'm probably going to have the Americans attacked every time, so I'm going to have them defending the ridge and then have a large German force. I got to dust my damn river. It's dusty. It's dusty as hell down here. So it's like spiderweb city down here in my basement. It's an old house built in like the early 1900s, I think 1908. Last time before the Cubs won the World Series a couple of years ago, that was it. So it kind of was nice when we bought this house. They hadn't won yet, so we're like, we got to get this sucker. So that's it. One more formation. So this is kind of fun. It's all 3 brigades in march column coming up the road, which, as I said before, you better hope the damn nobody's friggin' near you when you do it. But that looks good. Right? I mean, just 3 guys. If I'm going to have 18 battalions of just infantry, there'll be a lot of dudes on the map at some point in 2029. But I even added the little group of Voltigeurs and Old Guard Grenadiers there at the end, but trucking up the road. Just have a huge column of horses right there, go across the bridge and just slice them all to pieces. That's it. Alright, I'll do some, I'll probably finish up that last squad of American infantry for World War II. That'll buy enough time for me to replenish some funds after paying for my kids' braces. Go out and buy the rule books for Saga and get a couple models, start putting the Saga troops together. I think I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone because I want to play Hail Caesar, so I can get models from that time period and build up the basics. So once I understand the Saga rules, I can build up the units I would probably put together for Saga, and then turn the additionals into start forming whatever the hell the units of Hail Caesar are, because I don't have that rule book either. So, but I think it'll be fun to do some knights, and then later on some Saxons and some Vikings will be interesting. I'll do some knights on knights, and then I'll probably try to spin it into, I hope there's some rule. I'm sure there's rules for Crusades in the Hail Caesar, and I'll probably at some point end up with Romans against Greeks or something, because that's a freaking cool time period too. It's all miniature wargaming is freaking cool. I think it's one of these. I love watching all your guys' videos when going through battle reports and looking at how good the most of you guys paint compared to me. So it's a joy. I'm having a blast, and I can't put a crap load of time into it because I've got a bunch of kids and got a job. But when I get time, it's fun to paint these guys. All right. That's all I got. More from the dungeon at some point. You guys have fun, and I'll try to keep videos coming. And I'm definitely going to be watching yours, so see you later.